The viewers want to know, would you guys date each other?
No. If me and Yvonne met today, I think she would be interested in me.
It's crazy that he didn't think it would be reversed.
You think I would be interested in Yvonne if we met? Not that there's anything.
Do you see
Wait,
this?
why can't you? I'm gonna tell my story about my accidental date.
Hey, can I guess who this is?
Hey, you want to intro this week's podcast?
My feet aren't showing, right?
No one cares about your feet, Yvonne.
They do care about my feet. Okay, I have a high rating on WikiFeet. And if I were to start an OnlyFans for it, it would bang.
I notice your index toe curves upward, but your big toe curves downward.
Uh-huh. Uniqueness.
That's freaky, man.
It's not.
No one wants to look at those feet.
My feet look normal.
They look... Oh, you...
Why are you laughing at my feet?
It's like if I see your face, it's like, oh, she's late 20s. When I see your feet, it's like, damn.
What do you mean?
You got old lady feet.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, leave my feet alone. They're not old lady
that's
feet.
a fun
They're long.
game.
They're long.
Guess the age by feet. Because I think the feet, you can't really hide a lot about the feet.
My feet are not old though.
It's got that old splotchiness that I see with my mom.
Stop. That is not true. And I want you to know,
Also,
moms have really nice feet sometimes.
Your left foot is more red than your right foot looks healthy.
It's the lighting. It's the
but
lighting.
Your left foot looks decrepit.
It's the lighting, you fucking...
All right, let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of We Were Fighting Before This. And I'm sad to announce that me and Yvonne were fighting before this. As much as English. Yesterday, I got flamed because they say I use the word much when I should use the word many. There's so much people in this house. That's wrong. It's supposed to be there's so many people in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt really singled out because the way that question started was Jodi asked everyone in the room, those 5 of us, so who here's first language is not English? And I said me, because my first language was Chinese. And she said, yeah, because you always say much instead of many. And I felt really targeted. And Sydney said, yeah, you do that a lot. And I felt like the whole thing was a setup to correct me on my English usage. Sorry, I just trauma dumped on you.
That's fine. I mean, yeah, I knew that. Out of everybody, if we all had to pick somebody and be like, English was not this guy's first language, it would be you.
Why? Not just because it's true, but I try so hard to speak.
Pronunciation for words. Or enunciating things.
Like what?
When you say then, sometimes you say den.
Den?
Like some th words. There's certain things that it has the it's not as obvious as if you grew up in China or something and had that accent. It's not as heavy, but there is a little bit of that there.
Then the sound is hard.
Yeah.
Because we don't have subtlety in the Chinese language. It's all very ding dong ding dong. Sorry. So I talked about this, struggle with the word 3.
Now I want to make fun of you for doing that. I was being nice to you, but now I'm with Jodi and Sid.
It's not my first language, okay? That's why I sound, I got an accent. And I worked really hard at that. But nice to know. I don't think I can switch from using the word much to many, though. I'm going to use it's just ingrained. I did it yesterday again. After we had that talk, we went out and I did it again. But I'm not going to apologize for who I am or the English language that I choose to use.
I mean, that's just inaccurate, grammar-wise.
Do you use much and many correctly all the time?
I think I do. Because it comes naturally what I hear a lot and what I grew up reading, so much of it, much. I won't say so many of it exactly. In some places, if it just, I don't know.
Isn't it many?
Well, I don't know. I could be wrong. But when you say how there's so much people in the house, I would also say there's so many people in the house.
You guys,
Because that sounds like it's right.
you guys can pick it up right away.
I don't even know if I like am that in tune to like pick it up. But
Chelsea, can you tell that English isn't my first language?
Sometimes.
That's a
Sometimes.
yes. It's not. There's no sometimes.
you said sometimes.
Yeah, which is a
Well,
yes.
sometimes you speak. It's like it doesn't. It's not like you don't know English. Your English is really good too.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you know some bigger vocabulary words and stuff that I might not know, etc.
Like ameliorate.
Yeah. See, what the fuck is that?
It means to improve. It's just a fancy word to say it.
Can you use it in a sentence?
I can't. I just used a thesaurus one time, and I remember it's a synonym for the word improve.
Okay.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
We were fighting before this, by the way. And I'm glad there was no experiment this time. Was there an experiment this time?
Yeah, you told me not to do an experiment on you, and I respected your wishes, and I figured that would make you happy.
It's crazy that you even have to tell somebody, I don't want you to experiment on me.
I learn social human cues through experience, and I learned last week, and I took it into account and changed my approach this week. And I feel like I should be positively reinforced for that.
So you said that you take your past experiences into account to try to improve for the future.
Yeah.
You today looked at my watch, told me to look at my watch. 11:03, 3 minutes. 3 minutes late. When I have to drive half an hour here every time.
Okay. What's your point?
I come to you.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah, that's
and
true.
you knocked me for being 3 minutes late, which could literally have been the time. I got here at 11, parked my car, got out, walked here. That's 3 minutes.
To me, it's apples and oranges.
You guys remember what he said literally just 2 minutes ago, right? Take my past experiences and try to learn from them. And what were one of the past experiences? Knocking me for being late.
Yeah, well, I don't need to learn anything from that. Look, Yvonne, I will go on record and say you have to drive, 20, 30 minutes to come to this podcast every week, and I get to just shamble out of bed and walk into the living room and do it.
Yeah,
I
do.
appreciate that a lot. Mm-hmm.
And what about the times I'm early too? I bet there's been times I'm early.
Has there?
Yes.
Chelsea?
You don't notice?
What's the rate? This is podcast episode, what?
That Yvonne comes early.
8? Yeah.
You come on time.
On time.
On time?
On time.
On time. On time means early or on the dot. Were you on time this week?
The week just started. I was 3 minutes.
It's like a Boolean in computer science, which is a state of true or false.
You literally cannot be so anal about your friends being 2 or 3 minutes late.
Oh, hey, don't move the needle now. It was 3, not 2 or 3.
No, but you know
That's
what I
how
mean?
it starts. One pinky toe towards the center. Let's keep it at 3 now.
That would be psychotic. You know what I mean?
It's psychotic to say 2 or 3 when we know it's 3. Why did you add 2 or 3? That's my question. Let's explore that.
No.
Is it to lessen your crime?
No, it's not my crime. It's to lessen other people's crimes in case they're late by a wee 1 or 2 minutes.
Who's other people? Chelsea's always on time.
Anybody.
She's early.
Anybody that comes across you. As if you are not late also at times.
I've been late before. And when I'm late, I say, yo, my bad, big dog.
No, you don't.
When was the last time
You
I'm
don't
late?
always say that you're
I
late.
say, yeah, I'm late. Sorry about that, big dogs.
No, you didn't.
I say those words exactly.
We had a dance thing that you told us to get there by a certain time. You were
I
late.
had to drive from Studio City to K-Town.
Oh,
all right?
you had to drive.
You know how long that takes?
Yeah, I do know how long that takes. And you, did you say sorry?
Well, you know what? I'm going to pull out a second card. That dance lesson was $600 and I paid for it. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay to be 3 minutes late. It was 3 minutes.
I didn't say it wasn't. That's the crazy thing. Like, nobody cared that you were late.
Well, it sounds like you're bringing it up now, so you did care.
I'm bringing it up now because you are so on other people being late.
So you bring it up as retaliation.
It's hypocritical of you.
It's not hypocritical.
It is.
Me. Well, when I was late, I said, yo, sorry, big dogs.
Did you?
I didn't. I just felt bad about being late though. Because
Yeah.
Lily was there because she's always early and she makes
Exactly.
you feel really bad about being late. Like the time you were late for our sponsor this weekend at the League of Legends arena.
I want you to know I was late there at 48. We were supposed to be there at 45. Okay?
3 minutes again. Why don't you just start leaving 3 minutes early?
And you want to know why I was 3 minutes? Actually, I would have made it. The elevators at my apartment today were lagging. Like I was literally waiting there for 5 minutes because I just could not get an elevator to my floor. So you are inflexible and you target people for what? Because 3 minutes can go by just like that. Huh? An old lady could be crossing the road and I could be waiting there for her for 3 minutes.
Is there an old lady?
No, but I'm saying like there's things that are thrown in the way sometimes.
Yeah, no, sometimes, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with just pointing to a watch that says 11:03. What you take away from that is on you.
Hey, I'm going to stop this not because I think you're right, but because I don't want the podcast to be half an hour of us fighting over me being 3 minutes late.
Okay, that's fair.
But I hate you.
You want to talk about what happened this weekend
What happened this weekend?
when you bullied your fans?
I did not do that. That was okay. You know, we were the two only. Okay, he's talking about League of Legends MasterCard event that we did at LTA, where we would play against people who bid for us to like play in a League of Legends game against each other in an ARAM. And we were me and you were the two damage dealers. Everyone else was like a support. Scar went tank. You.
Hey, let them know the skill level of our fans that paid money to play a League of Legends game with us.
Yeah, there is a mix. There was gold, plat. Some people didn't play at all.
2 of them didn't play.
2 of them didn't play. 2 of them didn't play. One was plat. One was gold. Another one I don't remember. But basically, they didn't play a lot.
They were really bad. Not bad in
I don't
like
think they were that bad.
They're bad players, but just really inexperienced compared to Yvonne. Continue.
Okay. And then I remember just getting like, if we did not progress, that game would have lasted forever. You know that? Like we would have played like a 50-minute ARAM game. And I did not even, there's times where I literally just sat there and did nothing. I didn't use spells for like 3-4 minutes. You made me look like the bad guy. You wouldn't even go in on them. And then afterwards I just hear, guys, we should end this. We have to end it. Let's just win. And so I start going, and so I'm playing Wukong. We're killing them. We are, by the way. You also. We're the 2 damage dealers again. Even Lily as Tarek is killing them. So then what? Then you just put all the blame on me because I'm trying to end it.
Well, I just told you to recount a story, and this whole thing, you just kept going and defending yourself. Hey, I just wanted to hear what we did this weekend.
Okay, go.
So, like Yvonne said, we played against fans, and she ended the game with 25 kills and 2 deaths. The second highest kill on our team was at 6. She was merciless against these fans. She saw it as an opportunity to flex her superiority on loving fans that paid money to see us. And at the very end, after the game, and I'm going to say this as a factual statement, one fan came up to the 5 of us and said, "Who was playing the Wukong?"
One also asked who was playing Tarek. And also want you to know, 2 deaths in ARAM, that is actually griefing because that means I didn't go back to buy for a really long time and I stood on not a lot of items.
So what was it, Yvonne? Did I make you the villain or did you make yourself the villain?
You did.
What did I do that made you kill our fans 25 times?
You wouldn't kill them. And then but you guys would be like, we should end it, guys. Nobody else does damage.
Yeah,
what do you want me to do?
We should end it by letting them win.
Okay, but that was not what you guys made it sound like. You're like, let's just win.
Me, Scar, Lily, and Sydney were on the same page. They got to our tower.
No, we were saying oh yeah, maybe they will win. And then everyone rushed out. Lily was 1v4 at the turret. And then we're like, yeah.
Oh, she didn't want to make it obvious that we were trying to let them win.
Okay. We're going to argue for half the episode or what?
We argue every episode. But hey, it ended on a nice note though. We went out to lunch.
We did. We waited an hour.
Yeah. Could you let the fans know, because I'm not going to say this, how many people recognized me while we were waiting?
Maybe
and be truthful.
2?
It was not 2.
It was not 2?
It was not 2.
How many was it?
Like 3.
Oh, you mean the ones who recognized all of us?
Yes, Chelsea.
I'm curious to know, if a fan comes up to you, what's the experience they can expect?
Well, I was feeling pretty good that day. And when I feel good, I'm generally very, like, I will approach the fan. Because what they do is usually they'll do 2 glances, like, and then second glance. And when that happens, you can kind of clock them that they know who you are. And on a normal day, I would just wait for them to approach me. Usually what they do is they bring out their phone and they try and look us up to see if we're in the area to make sure it's us. And then they would work up the courage to approach and ask for a picture. I'm generally pretty nice. I learned watching other streamers do this. Because in the past, how I would do it is like, yeah, we can take a picture. Take a picture. And I say, okay, bye. Not because, I don't want to fuck with them. It's more, I'm kind of socially awkward and I don't know how to end a conversation. But I watch more charismatic streamers than I meet their fans, and they do it in a way that leaves their fans like pretty happy. Why are you giving me that look?
I just pray for the day that you think somebody knows you and they don't. And I just want to see it. I want to be there.
They know me, okay?
I want to be there.
Every time, we will be walking and I would pick up on something and I would tell my friends, I tell Yvonne, like, yeah, that guy knows me. They're going to approach me for a photo. And you can count it down, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they approach and I just say, hey, what's up, man? Of course we can take a picture. I was feeling myself that day. So that's what they can expect. I don't think you will find a bad fan interaction story out there with me, because I treat my fans really nice. To be honest, I've never seen a streamer treat fans in a negative way in my 10-year career.
That's true. I haven't actually seen it, unless they did something that warranted anything close to that. But typically everyone's really nice to them. But I just want to see you fall one day.
I did have an interaction like that. I went to Collecticon, and there was this fan that shook my hand. Like, hey, love your content. Appreciate it. And I said, oh, that's cool, man. You want to grab a picture? And he said, nah, I'm good. So that has happened before. Normally, I say want a picture, not for my sake. It's because they're a little shy.
They're shy, yeah.
And that's usually a good way to segue into the end of a conversation.
Yeah.
Because they usually want a picture. And once they get the picture, they feel more comfortable, like
leaving or being like, oh, like they're happy. Usually when I say, like, do you guys want a picture? And then they'll be like, yeah.
The only times I've seen streamers ego is at parties where they want an invitation to something. Like at TwitchCon, usually there's some parties and there's a bouncer at the front. I've seen it firsthand of someone saying, do you know who I am?
Really?
You know how many followers I got? Yeah, to Twitch employees as well, like Twitch managers, and they're like a Twitch partner. And the people that say it are never the big streamers.
Yeah.
They're always the small streamers.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever heard that in person.
And it's just the most cringe thing to see, because you have some people on the internet watching you play video games, and that gives you the right to like talk down to others.
The one I hate is when I see people who stream and then like they get aggravated and they're like, I make so much more money than you and you're like blah blah blah, you're nothing, nobody in your life. And I'm just like, damn. It's a really, just like you do it. I personally just feel like you never have to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. When people use like money or viewership against others, it's kind of cringe. I don't think I've ever done it. Maybe I have.
I think like the way I see us doing that is actually saying that to make fun of the people who do say that. Like I queued with Cutie before, like Cutie Cinderella, and she said that, but she was like being ironic, you know? So that's when I think it's funny. It's like, yeah, I make so much more money than you. Like I have 10K viewers, you have 0.
I do that in League of Legends when we lose and they start talking shit. And I'll say, well, at least I get paid to lose in video games. You're doing this for free. Do I do that to kids? I didn't do that to kids. Wow. Well, I did recently ask some kids in the new Among Us if they knew who Disguised Toast was.
It was really funny.
And they didn't. Or they told me to shut the fuck up. And then they called me a pedo. These kids don't know I'm Mr. Among Us.
I saw someone ask, like, how old are you? I was like, I'm not telling you my age, you.
Which, good on the parents for teaching kids about pedophilia at this early age.
Follow-up question. Have you guys ever been starstruck?
Starstruck? I don't think so. I've been impressed by certain actors and musicians. I think Steven Nguyen one it comes to mind because I love his work. And I was at a gala and I was sitting, not to brag, but 8 tables away from him.
I thought you were going to say 8 seats, but then you said tables.
It was a really big auditorium. I saw him
and
there.
he just made it in.
Just made it in at the edge, and I saw him very far off in the distance. I'm like, hey, he's pretty cool. Other than that, not starstruck. I went to this Netflix event, as I always do, and there was a lot of celebrities there. But they brought a lot of celebrities, and I don't think I was starstruck. I was very impressed by Lady Gaga.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow, Lady Gaga's performance was great.
Oh, freaking amazing.
But I feel like to get starstruck, they need to be next to you and about to interact with you. I was like, wow.
I think the only person that has been closest in that area at all for me was actually Ryan. Because like it was when, I remember this, okay? The AC guy was coming to the OTV house to fix our AC. And then right exactly at that time, Scar was like, Yvonne, do you want to play with Ryan? Like in this Valo lobby. And I was like, yes, I do. But then this guy's coming in and I was the house manager. I'm supposed to like coordinate things and make sure like, he gets in fine and does whatever. So technically I shouldn't be in a game. So I told him I can't, but if you guys queue again, need a person after, I will.
Ryan Higa.
Yeah. And then it just so happened they did need a person afterwards. And then I remember going in and then he's like trying to pronounce my name or something. I don't even know if this is correct, but I just remember he's like, Yanni? And that was it. But I remember I was very excited to play with him. And that was the closest I've ever been to like starstruck by somebody. But then very like, Ryan is Ryan. So quickly it's just like, oh, yeah, this is chill. It's fun.
Yeah, you were acting like a Make-A-Wish kid in that lobby.
Hey, have some respect for Ryan. It was Ryan Higa.
Yeah.
Back that
yeah.
we were.
I was starstruck.
Yeah, we were happy and excited for that.
He was very normal.
Yeah. And then playing Minecraft was so fun. Oh my God, COVID times, man. I think about that.
I feel really bad in my interactions with Ryan, mainly because there's so much streamer dynamic at play at times that I remember during the Minecraft stuff, he was just doing his own thing. Like he does not cause any trouble or anything. But I remember there being an instance of, I can't even remember exactly what it is, but he had to message me saying, hey, I didn't mean to cause any issue with what I was doing. I think it's because Ryan grinds Minecraft a lot. He fucking loves that game, him and Abe. And there was a server where I think those two just progressed into like final boss end game.
Oh, that's what it was.
Like diamond gear, and people saying like, oh, well, they're so far ahead. Is there a reason to like continue? And I remember him feeling like really bad about that, which then made me feel really bad about that as well. But yeah, playing with Ryan Higa was like really cool.
Yeah.
Because it was so like, he's there. This is the guy who created Asian YouTube. He, gave birth to all Asian YouTubers.
He gave birth.
He created all of this.
Yeah. I mean, I said this before on the podcast. He was just like the one of the people that I met, and I was like, you're awesome that you are the way you are. Like, good person, everything.
Toast, you actually met one of my people, like my role models that I would get starstruck for.
Really? Who was it?
Conan O'Brien. I saw a clip online and I almost died. Like love Conan O'Brien. I would die to meet him, and I've had tickets to go see him, always miss the dates. And I heard he hangs out at like Sugarfish in Brentwood.
In Brentwood specifically?
Yes, he lives in Brentwood. But yes, that's like my one person. And I saw that you met him.
It's funny you bring that up. I think that I was starstruck, now that you mention it, because I'm a big Conan O'Brien fan as well. And I used to watch him, like when I immigrated to Canada, I would stay up late watching TV because I slept in the living room since we only had 2 bedrooms. And I was with my brother, sister, and mother. So my sister and mother slept in one room. My brother slept in the other room. I get to sleep in the living room where the TV was. And I would stay up late at night. And there was just 2 things to watch late at night. Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien. And I would watch both of them. So I was a big Conan fan. And then I went to this event. My first TwitchCon 7 years ago. And there was this sponsored activation. Lineage 2 Revolution mobile game. They have tons of money. The game themselves, I mean, it's been 7 years. They're not great, but they have so much money. And that's how they got Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien doesn't know what Lineage 2 Revolution is. He does not give a shit. He's there because he's getting the bag.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love that for him. And it wasn't planned. It wasn't scripted. I just saw him there. I was one of the participants. Like, oh my God, you know, hey, that's Conan O'Brien, guys. And he was reading through the list of players at the event, and he got to my name, Disguised Toast. And he said, wow, that is the best gamer name I've ever seen. Where is he? Get him up here. Give me a hug. And I was like, it was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I got the golden ticket. Right? Like,
that's crazy.
Because I'm such a big fan.
I didn't know that was how you met him. Like, he picked your name from a list?
From a list. It was no one told, like, it was not planned. I think he was just improving. And that really made my day. It's funny because like his co-host was this guy called Day 9, who's a StarCraft caster. And I'm also a big fan of his as well. So it was like, wow. And they were, you know, the thing is, Day 9's like 6 foot tall. Conan O'Brien's like 6'3". I walk on screen. You can barely see my head.
You looked tiny.
I was like a baby.
You look like a little boy. Because Conan's 6'5", 6'6".
He's
really tall. And when Toast hugged him, it was like at his, like, lower than his chest.
Yeah. But that was my first TwitchCon experience coming to LA. Like, wow, this place is great. You get to meet so many cool people. And that's when I met a lot of the people that would go, you know, be part of my life for the next 7 years. Little did I know what I was getting myself into.
Was that the TwitchCon I met you?
No, you came...
the one after?
You came a year later because I met you 1 year after OTV. Maybe it was 2 years, but you were not there. Sorry, you didn't make the list. That's where I met. I didn't meet Lily for the first time there. I met her for the second time. Because her, Scara, Fed, Pokelals, Pokey as well, all came to Canada first for a wedding.
Oh, I remember seeing pictures of that.
Met them. But that's my second time meeting Scara.
Yeah.
And then I went to TwitchCon and met everyone for the first time. It was really awkward because I'm a really awkward person, and I still am, of being in this foreign environment.
Yeah, but you've gotten better. I've seen it throughout the years. I remember introducing friends to Toast early on, and I was like, I had to tell everybody. He's just really stoic. He's very timid.
Were you introducing people to me?
I don't remember. I didn't introduce many, but like the times that I did, I remember I would just be like, yeah, he's more shy.
Is it because they take it as they did something wrong?
Well, I've had people tell me like, I don't think Toast likes me. That like multiple times, like not just from one person, but like from many people. I'm like, nah, he's just like that. And then I'll even ask you, I'll be like, do you not like this person? You're like, no. It's like, he really is just like that.
Yeah, I'm just like that.
He's better now.
It's not that I always feel bad when people think I feel negatively towards them when I don't really take it into account. I just give my response and that's the end of the conversation. And I have been more actively not coddling them, but reassuring them that nothing is wrong. We had a shoot recently with Offline TV. It was Truth or Drink. And I asked Broden, like, what's the one thing you would warn new employees about when working with me? And he said, I would tell them that Toast doesn't hate you. When he responds to your messages, or sometimes he doesn't respond, it is not a reflection of you. He just doesn't do it often.
Yeah, don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Tell them that you ghost me too.
I haven't ghosted you in the last 4 months.
You kept track?
No, it's more like when you brought it up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make an effort to not ghost you anymore. So if you look at our messages, I just want to be positively reinforced that not ghosting you, is a good thing. So I want you to know, in our last 4 months of messages, I don't think I've not responded to a single one.
So if he ghosts you, don't take it personally, because he just started not ghosting me 4 months ago.
Well, I still ghost people because I'll stop ghosting people if they ask me, hey, can you not ghost me? Yeah. I'm a busy man. It's something I'm actively working on, though.
Do you think ghosting is bad when it comes to like relationships? People always say, oh, ghosting is so bad, like blah, blah, blah. I think it's bad to a degree.
Explain.
I feel like it's fine after you can ghost them if you talk like a little bit and then it like falls off or something. I think if you go on like multiple dates and stuff, that's when maybe you could leave a message, just like courteous too. But at the same time, if someone ghosted me, I think I'm just applying it to myself. If someone ghosted me after like 1 or 2 dates, if they did, like I don't think I would care that much because I barely know this person.
Have you been ghosted?
I don't think so. But I think I have in like either they're busy or maybe they did ghost me and I don't care. Like I don't fault them for it. I'm not like, this guy ghosted me. I know some people care. So I don't know.
So you feel that it's okay to ghost someone if the conversation is fizzling out?
Or if you don't want to prioritize them or put like effort in them. Like an example would be our dating, Yvonne like dating shoot or whatever. And then the winner did message me after. And then I told my chat, I was like, oh, I didn't reply. Because I had no intention of like maybe going out with him, like sitting on it or anything like that, right? To me, I think I am allowed to like protect my peace and my time. Like I don't want to waste his time either. I could have been left a message of, yeah, thanks for doing the shoot, like, but I'm not interested type of thing. I think I could have done that. But me and my bandwidth at that time when I was off to Korea and like doing everything else, like I just did not want to mentally do that. And I felt like I didn't really owe him anything, or like I don't know him that well. I don't have to like, yeah. But that's me personally. I think it's totally fine. And it would have been very nice if I left that message, but also I don't think it matters. Like I don't think he loses sleep at night that I didn't send that message.
I feel like there are some cases where girls choose ghosting over saying, hey, I'm okay. Like, I enjoyed our time, but it's not going to work. Because sometimes, this applies to guys and girls, but guys might have a really negative reaction to it.
Yeah.
And we see it online a lot where
scared.
A girl would say, hey, enjoyed my time, but it's not going to work out. And then the guy just like goes batshit, like, fuck you, whore. I didn't want to go out with you anyway. I think that can sometimes cause girls to choose a ghosting path instead of a more like, hey,
confrontational path. Yeah.
It is always polite to say not interested, even if you have been on 1 date or 2 dates, because I have found that it's easier to be honest. And that's something I had to do as well, because when a girl likes me, but I'm not in a place where I can return those feelings, or I just don't feel the same way. In the past, I would really not want to say that.
I was the same.
Yeah, because it's hard to say, like...
They also sometimes don't explicitly say they like you, but they are like creating conversation, or they're like replying to a lot of things. So you don't want to be like, I'm not interested, because that sounds awfully conceited at the same time. Yeah. But sometimes you try to like reply a little bit less, so that hopefully they get the message, right? I think sometimes to a degree, it's also on them to kind of have that awareness.
Have you flat out rejected guys before?
I mean, in the sense of like, yes, I have a boyfriend, yes. But then there's also been times where I didn't. And like, there's a guy I went on an accidental date with, and then...
Sorry, explain accidental date.
It's a thing where I thought that we were just going to have food to like... You know how when you meet somebody, like, oh, we should get lunch sometime. It could be anything. It could be like I'd done it literally with Chelsea. Like we met and then she was like, oh, we should get lunch sometime. Like,
you went on an accidental date with Chelsea?
Not with Chelsea, but it could have been an accidental date. You know what I mean? Like if she were a guy, which is what happened. So I met this guy at like a media event, and then he was like, oh, let's get boba sometime. I'm like, sure. And then so I remember going to get boba with him, and then he... like we're having just whatever conversation, and then he goes, oh yeah, I thought you were really cute. And I was just like, if you happen to be like in the place where you're interested in like a relationship or you're like ready for that, like let me know and I'll take you out on a date. And I remember thinking like, okay, for it was like respectable that he said that.
He was respectful about it, sounds like.
Yeah. I didn't want it though, but I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll let you know. And like that. And then the funny thing was, months later, he was just like, hey, are you dating anybody? I'm like, not dating. And then he's like, so you never hit me up for that date? And I was like, yeah. I just said that to him. But I don't know. That was an accidental date because it's a gray area where they ask you to like get lunch or get something, but they don't say it's a date. So then and I did not realize it was a date until it got closer. And then he was like, oh yeah, we could do this after. I reserved my whole evening for you. And I was like, wait a second, reserved whole evening?
Yeah, it's not a date unless they make it clear. But an Asian guy asking an Asian girl, hey, do you want to get boba? The signs were there, Yvonne. I'm not blaming you. But that's classic Asian riz.
The thing is, though, like so many people, I've had that with my friends. Oh, you want to go get boba? So I'm like, sure. It doesn't seem like it's that crazy. Sorry, I used your word. But I just know I used it on everybody. It's equal footing here. I pretty much also had this one person that I accidentally went on a date with. And I did not know until I showed up. It was a really nice dinner place in like Culver City. And I didn't know how fancy it was. I just remember walking into it's part of a lobby, had a beautiful Christmas tree. And then I walk in and I see him seated already, and he's in a button-up shirt. And then we're saying he's also a creator. So I thought that it was just going to be like a mutual exchange of just like, oh, like you're not necessarily networking, but you're making friends in the space, right? Which happens often. And then he started asking me about my family, where I came from, and a bunch more, like past, I don't remember. But it felt very much like a date. And then I was like, oh. And then at the very end, he paid for dinner. And I did offer to pay. I was like, oh, you want to split it? Or you want to like, And then he's like, no, don't worry. I got this. You get next time. And I'm like, next time? Okay. And then he offered to drive me home. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, did you let him drive you home?
I did. I did. Nice. It was back at our house.
There's a lot to unpack. I'm going to tell my story about my accidental date.
Oh, really?
Because I went on an accidental date, and I was the one who asked.
What?
I asked in a, hey, it's same as you. Like, hey, let's grab dinner sometimes. And she took it as a dinner date. Uh-huh. So the roles were kind of reversed. And it was not until we got closer to the dinner and we've been messaging. She was like, oh, I'm coming all dressed up. And I'm like, all dressed up? we don't got to be doing all of that.
Wait, what place did you pick? Did you pick a place?
It was a sushi place called Catch.
Oh, Catch is like it's decent. Nice. Yeah.
It's a nice restaurant.
Why did you pick Catch?
Because it's a nice restaurant. And
that seems very datey. That's a date restaurant.
Hey, that's all me. Look, I can understand why she thought that at the time. But once it dawned on me, I pulled out my second strategy. I invited Lily and our manager, Henry, to come with me.
Really?
I was like, hey, you guys want to eat fancy sushi? Because I did not want it to come across as a date, and I already made my miscalculation.
Hey, I guess who this is.
I think you know who this is.
Yeah.
Okay, you can bleep it out.
We'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Corey, Chelsea, take that to your fucking grave with you, please. So she showed up, and I remember her. I let her know ahead of time that they would be joining us, so she wasn't surprised. But I remember her like, "Oh, hey guys." So it was nice. And then it wasn't until a month later, one of her friends, I was hanging out with her, like her friend, and her friend was like, "Yeah, no, she really thought it was a date." I'm like, "Yeah, that's miscommunication." Just like Yvonne, I was being like, "Hey, you're not in the city often."
It's different though. Catch. It has
Boba. Boba.
No.
Asian guy? Nah. Asian girl, Boba.
Catch is different. Catch is a date. That's for
Boba
sure
is so much more casual. Catch is this restaurant in LA. They have it in Vegas too. It's like a fancier-ish restaurant, and it has like flowers. It's very decorated, very pretty. The setting is extremely romantic. There's lights everywhere. It's dimmer lighting.
A meal is gonna be like 200 average. Like, this is not a cheap date.
Yeah.
It's a date spot for sure.
It's a date spot. No way you pointed at me and said boba in comparison to that. That is crazy.
I acknowledge my miscalculation.
Okay. The viewers want to know, would you guys date each other?
No. Not that you're not lovely and beautiful and, great in all the unique ways you are great in.
Can't say the same about you.
I think it would just create a lot more issues because I feel pretty confident in finding a partner that's compatible with me. I think it would be hard to find someone like Yvonne that I have that friendship with. I think Yvonne is more replaceable as a romantic partner than as a friend.
That's a crazy thing
That's
to
a compliment.
say. That's a crazy thing to say. More replaceable as a romantic. Don't tell my future romantic partners that.
I have this issue where when I try to compliment someone, it just comes out in the worst way possible.
What the fuck? What the fuck is that? I'm more replaceable as a romantic partner?
Okay, how do I say this? My friendship with Yvonne is so unique that it would probably be impossible to find anyone to take that place.
Put up with your shit.
I think in life you go through a lot of romantic partners, like between like 3, 5, 7. And for friendships, generally, at least for me, my friends are pretty static.
Yeah, they tend to last longer.
Last way longer. And I'd rather have Yvonne be part of my life, like in a very stable manner, than we date. Not even taking into account of all the compatibility things that might come up. Then like we date and then something goes wrong and then it would literally implode the friend group. Because when I end a relationship, it's never amicable.
Why?
A lot of reasons, Chelsea, that I can't get into.
It's like a look within reasons. Look within. He says he's improved with every relationship. It's happened.
Don't listen to her. So that's at least for me why this is also a thing that people have been asking more and more. I wonder if they're new viewers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we've known each other for years and had similar dynamics, but these questions were never asked. Yeah.
These are asked in every single episode.
Well, I think it's asked maybe because, one, we have a podcast together now, and also we have been maybe more frequent in each other's content. Maybe before there's a lot more collaborations like across the board, and now it's a little more like, I don't know. But that also came with getting closer throughout the years and also kind of having more synergy with our content together. But I think, yeah, I pretty much already said in the Truth or Drink video too. It's like, okay, first off, there's so many levels to this. It's kind of like you have to like each other first. There's no complications. You have to also, I don't know. There's like so many layers to it. We haven't even gotten through anything of that. He's too much like my brother for me to even think that. And I want to kill him half the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to fight all that. Pisses me off. Sometimes I walked into the podcast this morning, we started fighting. I was like, I don't know if seeing you early in the morning is good for my health.
I think if me and Yvonne met at this time and we never had any interaction or knew of each other's history, she would probably have a crush on me.
No.
But I wouldn't be interested.
That's crazy for you to say. That is crazy. You don't think it would be reverse?
Like if
What are you gonna say? Huh? What are you gonna say?
If we met today, that I would be more interested in you than you would be interested in me?
Yeah. What? Why
That
do you
is
think it's
crazy.
the reverse? Huh? I think it's crazy that you think the reverse.
What? I think it's crazy because we're both 33 years old. Right? I'm in the pretty, people know who I am. You would be like, oh my God, that's this guy's
I
Toast.
never think that, by the way.
He's really smart.
No.
Okay.
What is this? Is this your own fanfic of yourself? Because no. When have I ever met anybody and thought that? I know so okay. We know so many successful people. Like literally meeting even an actor, it would not really be so much of oh my God,
Well, I guess we'll never know. I guess this is an alternate dimension.
No, I think we would. If I knew how you were, there was no way. I'd be mad right off the bat.
If you didn't know who I was, if you just saw me at the pickleball court.
Yeah, maybe you'd be nicer to me and that'd be different.
I would be nicer to you.
But you'd be fake. You're not real nice. You're
that.
performative nice.
You wouldn't know until way down the line.
Yeah, and it's too late, and I would also want to... We would not end well.
It would not end well.
It would not end well. Because I would realize he's performative nice.
But that's why I'm saying at the beginning, you would be more interested in me than I would be interested
It's just not true. Do you know why I know it's not true? Because I am the type of person who takes convincing to like somebody. And you are the type who is, slow and I'll play games with you or do whatever. The way you meet people is not aggressive enough, I think, for me to like you.
Isn't that how you got in a relationship in your past relationship, was playing games with the guy?
Yeah, but first off, I have to like playing relationships or playing games with a person. Do you think I'm going to like playing games with you?
Yes, I think you would, because we would duo queue TFT and I would be good at it and I would be funny.
Yeah, and then we duo queue League, and then what happens? Then you're going to yell at me for not coming to Dragon, and I'm going to be I have to fucking teach this.
I wouldn't let you see my true self until way too late until you're committed to it, and then you're trapped. But you wouldn't know all of this. I would be like, hey, it's okay we lost. Let's queue it up again.
Oh my God, it's PTSD. Until I'm trapped, until it's too far to come out. Oh God, kill me, not again.
So no, I think the question is we don't consider dating each other.
Yeah. Our friend group would literally implode.
Yeah.
That is just
I think there's just
crazy. Not that that's yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just 100 reasons why no.
Yeah. A lot of reasons.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Do you guys want to ask the question?
What was it again?
Should you guys date?
Excuse me, what did you say?
Yeah, come on in.
Sorry, what was the question?
It's just
The
so funny.
question was, should me and Yvonne date? According to the viewers.
The viewers think that.
The viewers think we're end game, and they think we're going to end up together. And they said there's some type of thing going on sometimes,
Viewers, listen up. All right, we're going to get really parasocial up in here. You guys think you know. You think that they would be good together. I'm telling you, no. It's it'd be like ripping two atoms apart and now we have a nuclear bomb. Genuinely, the compatibility romantically would not work. But as friends, fantastic.
What did you guys think?
Pretty much that.
Yeah.
There's just 100 reasons to say no.
But Toast, you want to tell her what you said about
Oh,
Yvonne being interested in you? And
I would say
That's crazy.
Wait,
No. Hey, let me set the stage.
Listen to him.
Let me set the stage. If me and Yvonne met today,
oh my God,
with zero history of anything, all history, the friend group, everything, I think she would be interested in me if we met on the pickleball courts.
Bro, you ain't going to pickleball.
Yeah,
Sure.
you wouldn't
You're
even
not
be there in the
fucking
first
going
place.
to Where would
You're
you
setting
guys
a wrong
meet?
scene
At the
already.
pickleball court that I go to every weekend.
Wait,
and
that's crazy that your ego is like, anytime Toast goes outside, he's like a wallflower in the corner. Who
Yeah.
are you? Why would he? Okay, no, like, I don't think Yvonne would gravitate towards you. I think once she would learn, like, oh, he's a successful, nice, kind Asian man.
Like I
Then
said,
she would.
it's crazy that he didn't think it'd be reversed too. That he's like, oh, you would be the one interested in me. And it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, like, you don't
Check.
think.
That's crazy.
You think I would be interested in Yvonne if we met? Not that there's anything.
Do you see
Wait,
this?
why can't you say that about me? But I can
The
say
crazy
that
thing
about
was,
you.
I never said this in the first place. I never said, oh, that didn't even have to be a thing. You know, it's a crazy thing.
Wait, I think that. Oh, let me think about your taste. I think you would. There is a world where you would have liked Yvonne.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And I feel like the reverse can be true.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, I just don't. Maybe the way you're saying it pisses me off.
I think you came in swinging. You were like, you for sure be into me, but me, nah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you set yourself up for failure with that.
Yeah.
That's on me. I apologize.
He also said something else earlier. What did you say?
I said a lot of things.
You remember Chelsea was literally like, oh, you as a romantic partner is replaceable, but you as a friend is not. And I was
was saying you're irreplaceable as a friend.
Y'all, you should see my face right now. That's crazy.
Jody's jaw is on the floor right now.
I said you were I was trying to say you're irreplaceable as a friend. But then I kept talking and said you're more replaceable as a romantic partner.
Well, you could have just said you're
I
irreplaceable.
I should have stopped while I was
Period.
ahead.
You see what I have to deal with? You see how we fight every podcast?
I need Scar.
It's funny because he definitely thinks it's your fault too.
I need Scar here. I'm getting 3v1 right
I'm
there.
out of here.
I think you should say sorry.
Hey, Yvonne. I apologize for implying that I wouldn't be interested in you. Maybe I would be. But it's not because, if I wasn't, it would not be because you have any shortcomings. I probably have a lot going on and can't commit to a relationship.
What are you, like an emotionally unavailable man? Why are you saying this to me like that?
I'm doing it for your own good because I still have a lot of toxic traits I'm trying to work out, and I wouldn't want to put that on you in this alternate universe.
Yeah, and I fully trust you on that.
I'm glad we can come to an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chelsea, are you happy with that answer? Are the viewers happy with what they've done?
We don't blame this on them. They asked one question.
That was such a it's like that's not a question. You know what's a question? What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Okay, that is a loaded bomb.
That's not a loaded bomb. I answered it fine. Did I answer it with, oh yeah, if we met though, you would have liked me and I wouldn't have liked you. I didn't have to answer it that way.
To answer your question, I value my friendship with Yvonne a lot. I think we're very incompatible in a lot of ways. And that's why we have a podcast where we scream at each other instead.
Because if we were in a relationship, I would be real mad, not just friendship mad. That's why it would never work.
Any other fun questions they want us to answer?
Yvonne, do you think you should say sorry to Toast because he apologized for?
No.
She didn't say anything worth apologizing for. Why are you giving me
I agree.
Okay. You guys want to talk about the ABGs and Kevin Nguyen's?
I don't know what there is to talk about.
Like, do you think Toast is a Kevin Nguyen? Like, do you think he dresses like one, or like one step away from being
I would be
one?
mortified if people said I dressed like a Kevin Nguyen.
You don't dress like a Kevin Nguyen. You're kind of too old to be a Kevin Nguyen.
Yeah, because I do try hard to avoid. I think I dressed like a Kevin Nguyen 10 years ago.
No.
Black t-shirt, one necklace, listens to Keshi.
For the viewers who don't know what a Kevin Nguyen is or what a ABG is, can you guys explain?
How do I even describe
10 years ago,
them?
you did not. You still had the jean jacket that combined with like the hoodie.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I really went through, because I'm not, they're like American Asian, but from Southern California, SoCal Asians.
Yeah, usually with like a flannel or like a black t-shirt with like a chain. But I feel like so many people wear that normally. it's just a meme.
It's a meme because it's almost like baby's first step into fashion of like, I'm not going to mix and match random crap in my closet. I'm going to dress something good. Black t-shirt and a necklace.
I mean, it's pretty standard for guys, I feel, too. So.
Yeah. Well, for guys, your options are mostly limited.
Yeah.
And people are kind of scared to venture out because you can change things up like the colors or the fit. But it's actually a lot of work to learn how to dress.
Yeah, I also view it as like, when people say Kevin Nguyen and stuff, I feel like you're just younger. You don't have like as much access to accessories or clothes, like whereas similar things. But like say people who start making adult money and other things, like they dress pretty nice, I feel. I don't know if they want to.
Is that how you see me, Chelsea? You don't think I'm a Kevin Nguyen, do you?
But it's just funny because you like everything else that like Valorant, boba, or
I don't like boba.
Anime.
Everyone likes there's
I know.
Way liking anime and Valorant.
I know,
enough.
that's what I mean though. It's like just like all the likes hit, but it's just it's not that for
also,
sure.
I think personalities I don't go to the clubs. I'm scared of the clubs.
You don't thrive there.
I don't. I know I talk a big game, but it's scary there.
Then what are you? Like, if you could categorize yourself as like,
I mean,
the Asian sphere, what would you think you are? Like a fob?
It's that I do think about this. I think it's that awkward place between a fob and an American-born Chinese.
Nerd.
Thank you. Where you're kind of like first gen, because I guess I'm considered first gen immigrant because I was the one who immigrated with my parents. Of not really struggling with my identity because I went to a very white school and you don't really notice you're Asian in a white school. It might sound like backwards, but when you're like one of the very few Asians in a white school, you actually don't feel like you're very Asian because all you see are white people. So you just kind of think you're a white person in some way culturally. And then you go to an Asian college and then suddenly you see the divide. Like all your friends are Asian. You hang out with the Asian. Your classes have like 80% Asian because it's math class and 20% other race. And it's almost undefined. I'm sure there's a way to describe it. But like when I look at Ryan Higa, he's not a Kevin Nguyen, right? But he's also not a fob. He's just someone who happens to be Asian that...
He's ABC.
American.
Born Chinese.
Yeah. Oh, I did not. He does not strike me as a Kevin Nguyen, though.
Is he?
No.
Is he Chinese?
No, he is Japanese.
Yeah, but I don't consider myself a fob because I've met fobs at my school.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't.
I wouldn't really...
I would not consider that either. Yeah. I don't know. Never was really categorized. The only time I ever felt like somebody said I was something and I had to be like, what? Was one time Edison called me an ABG.
Yeah, you're not an ABG. Why are you? I'm literally agreeing with you. Now you're giving me a dirty look.
So explain. How am I not an ABG?
Because I think ABGs are like that stereotype is that they're very demanding in some way. Like they're hot Asian girls that need to be treated like a princess, that don't take no shit, that you can find at the club. I think you're more friendly than that. You're trying to turn this into like, what, you don't think I'm an ABG because you don't think I'm hot? Okay? I see the trap. I see the trap you put in front of me, and I'm not flipping it.
That was funny because you did. The first thing you said was hot, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that's something I say. That's something I say.
I don't think you're an ABG. I think there's a negative stereotype with ABGs.
Yeah, there are. But I feel like people don't even really use that as much anymore, right? It feels like a kind of dated-ish term. Yeah.
ABGs are coming back.
Are they coming back?
It was popular like 10 years ago. And then more recently, all the Gen Z kids, all the Gen Alpha kids are like, yo, let's go hit up some ABGs.
Again?
Yeah, it's full circle. Now it's a popular term. I don't think Yvonne's an ABG.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm kind of too much of a nerd. But not like it's like a... Like I almost kind of don't like that. You like categorize girls for what? Liking to I don't know, what is it? Party or
I think it's the way they dress. It's like the
Dress?
whole look. You know, like
yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Nguyen is a whole look.
yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Like Kevin Nguyen wears like a chain around their neck.
Yeah.
They have their ears pierced.
Yeah.
They drive like a black. They drive like a
ABGs.
Honda Civic, or like like a revved up.
And
Toyota.
ABG's more like bodycon clothing, maybe.
Yeah, like
with
a tube top.
heavier makeup and stuff.
Tube top, lashes done, eyebrows
yeah.
done.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
evolved though. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I have different reasons why I don't dress that way. Like not confident, or it's not my type of style, type of thing. Yeah. I think I'm too nerdy in a way. Just like go home, play games. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Yvonne's like when I think ABG, I think high maintenance. I don't think Yvonne's high maintenance. And I think when I think ABGs, I think they would be impressed. They would want their guy to buy them Gucci or Chanel or show up in a Lamborghini, and the girls would be like, "Oh, nice car." I don't think a nice car would impress Yvonne that much.
I had a guy. I was back in the day. I played badminton with a lot of my friends. There's a lot of downtime. You like waiting for courts and stuff. This guy, an acquaintance that I know, pulls up to me and just shows me his phone. He's like, "Look at this new car I got. It's like a Lexus." Looked at it. I was in university, I think, at the time too, and I looked at it. I was like more icked out that he came up to me and showed me a car and thought it was impressive than the car.
Yeah, why didn't he just show you the fucking car? Why did he show you a picture of the car?
Yeah, he just showed me like got it because we're in the gym, I guess. But like, I don't know. I think I just get the ick when somebody tries to flex, a guy tries to flex something on you, thinking it would sway you, and then that I'm not like I would be impressed in the first place, but it's like all gone when you do that.
Okay, we can finish up, but maybe last question: would you guys date Yvonne? Would you date a Kevin Nguyen? And then would you Toast date an ABG?
No,
The answer is no. For
ooh,
both.
no. I think I'm not into domineering, bossy women, and I feel like ABGs would be. I also don't want them to be like a princess. Hey, take care of me, kind of. I'm more of an equal partner. I don't think an ABG is an equal partner.
Do you think you're a high maintenance partner?
Ooh, no, I don't. Do you think you're a high maintenance partner?
I don't think so either.
Okay, so we're both non-high maintenance partners.
I think so. I've asked somebody before what they thought was the most high maintenance thing about me. And they said it was like not even high maintenance in a way, but the thing they have to tend to work around more is my schedule. So they say that I'm more high maintenance in that way, where like it's not as easy to coordinate with my schedule at times, or that maybe sometimes I will need somebody who helps film me something. But otherwise, it's like nothing. Yeah.
So no, we wouldn't date Kevin Nguyen or ABGs. Hey, well, this was a really nice podcast. Yvonne, the main takeaway from everything is that I feel like you're irreplaceable in my life. And we should just focus on that statement, isolated, not part of any other grander context.
Danny once gave me a compliment before in league. I know he's maybe half trolling, I don't know, but he's like, "Your Kaisa's way better than your Caitlyn."
Sometimes.
So am I supposed to take the part where he's complimenting my Kaisa, or telling me that my Caitlyn's...
Well, we don't have control over what you choose to take away from conversations. Okay?
Yeah, which is why I said with Danny, you have to extract. You extract the positive and feel and just forget, let the negative roll out the window.
And I hope from this you extracted how much I value
This is not the same.
our friendship. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching this week's podcast. Me and my irreplaceable friend Yvonne. We'll see you next week.